someone who reached out to me and were just excited about this. They heard about this on a Monday. They reached out to someone on Tuesday and actually went and visited them. And then on a Wednesday, they sent me this message where they said, "Hi, Nate, the rescue group visit went great. They love the print-on-demand model. However, she, the business owner, just let me know that their only files they have for their logo are JPEG and EPS." So the way that this person who reached out to me was explaining the deal to them is that they could put their logo on t-shirts and they could sell them online. And so she was concerned because of the actual file type. And so she said that I needed a PNG. I have no idea how to convert files, and I'm actually illiterate on anything to do with graphics. When looking at my merch account, it says a PNG is required. So anyone who's been doing print on demand for a while, probably solutions are starting to fly through your head of exactly how this person can pull it off. But again, I'm showing you guys that I am working with people of all different skill sets, right? So we have some people who are working with large national branches of organizations that are trying to do this, and we're working with other people who are just trying to figure out the file. So I'm not making fun of Jan, who sent this to me, but I did want to show off that I'm trying to be here for you guys. I'm trying to be your wingman through this whole process. And on top of that, I wanted to do a little over the shoulder of exactly how I was able to help Jan kind of conquer this problem, because I definitely think other people out there are going to get themselves into the situation where, like, okay, great, they agreed to everything, we want to move forward, but now it comes down to like the nitty gritty of print on demand, and we need to know exactly how the files work. I have two websites that I'm going to show off. One of them I hope that you guys have heard of before, because I have talked about it nonstop since I found out about it. But the other one is...
Are you taking guesses?
Yeah, hopefully you guys can guess. But the other one is a website that's going to help you guys convert files without having Photoshop or any other graphic design software that I personally would use. And it's one that I've used in past when in a crunch or telling other people to use. And we've had pretty good success with it, so take that as you will. I'm not supported by them, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. There are other websites out there that do this, but this is just the one I have personally found that it's kind of just straightforward to the point, and that's the reason I like it. I don't exactly know how to pronounce the name of this website, so I'm sorry. Zamzar is the way that I say it. If that's wrong, I apologize. But this is the website. So she was asking, how do I take either a JPEG or an EPS file, which the EPS is a higher quality file, just meaning that the actual pixels in that file are going to be of higher resolution. So that's the one I asked her to get from them. And then to use a program like this, Zamzar, which is really just a website, you can add the file here, and then you can pick whatever way you want to convert this. So then she was able to convert this to a PNG, wherever that is. PNG, there we go. Oh my gosh. All right, so you add your file here, you select that you want it to be a PNG, which basically means it just has a transparent background, and then you hit convert now. So like I said, it's just the most straightforward way to convert files if you don't have a other piece of software that can help you do that. So once you have that PNG, then you can come to a website like this called Spark by Adobe, and this is definitely something I've talked a ton about. We have teaching on this. I have a full course teaching you guys how to use this, but I wanted to do a very quick video here just to show you guys exactly how you can take a PNG of any size, because if you're using Merch by Amazon, then you have to have it in their specific size, which is 4,500 by 5,400. So it's not good enough just to have a PNG. You have to have it in the exact sizing that you need, and that's what I wanted to show. Just a very straightforward way to get any PNG in the exact sizing that you need for Merch by Amazon.
If you're not a graphic designer like me, PNG is the file that you would suggest?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically what it comes down to is just trying to avoid JPEGs, because JPEGs are usually the lowest resolution type of file, and it's hard to remove the background on JPEGs. There are definitely ways you can do it, but if you can get a different file type outside of JPEG, then I would suggest doing that. That's kind of the simpler way to explain. But diving into this Spark website, the simplest way to go from any PNG file to just the exact sizing you'll need for Merch by Amazon is by starting up here in the left-hand corner. And I guess I should say before I start this that one thing I love about Spark is that they're constantly updating, but one thing that can be frustrating for those of us using it can be that they relocate things sometimes. So it might not always be in the left-hand corner that create a project is there. Sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes it's in other places, but what you're looking for is a way to start a new project, and especially in a custom-sized graphic. So like we've said before, Spark is an amazing tool, but it's not necessarily meant to do print-on-demand things. So they're not going to have, you know, a print-on-demand sizing built in. So we just have to use the custom-sized graphic, which is fine. So once you click on that, it's going to load for a quick second, and it's going to ask you, what size do you actually want this artboard or the file to finish being. And like I said before, it's 4,500 by 5,400, and that is pixels, so px. Those are not inches. That would be absolutely ginormous. Those are pixels. So like I said, Merch by Amazon is very crucial on the exact sizing. Like even if you're 1 pixel off on accident, they will not allow you to upload your PNG file. So you have to make sure it's exactly 4,500 by 5,400. Then you can click next. So now we have the artboard in the exact sizing that we need, which is 4,500 by 5,400. It should look a little bit like this, a rectangle that's you know, it's tall and narrow. And the first thing, or the next thing, I always say that, the next thing you want to do when you come to this artboard is
you're a new teacher, there's a million number 1 steps, so there's no number 2.
Well, the next thing you want to do is look for this little ad that they put down here in the bottom right-hand corner. So this is them watermarking that you're going to make this thing in Adobe Spark, which is fine if you're just doing a flyer or something where it doesn't matter. But for putting a design on Amazon, they don't want any other branding anywhere, especially something like Adobe Spark. So you're going to go ahead and click on this little watermark down here in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's going to say you can remove the watermark remove once, or you can learn more. Both of these buttons take you to the same exact place, because even if you want to remove it once, they're going to show you why you should update or upgrade your plan to a pay-to-monthly plan, which Spark is 100% free, if I haven't mentioned that. And the only reason that you should upgrade to a monthly subscription is if you're trying to use this for a certain brand that you're putting out there for like social media. But for what we're doing for print on demand, this has not been of any use to me, so I still have the free plan. So you can either hit this Get Started button here, or this little X that they kind of hide up in the right-hand corner here, which I usually click on, and that will take not only that little page away, but it will also remove the watermark, so you don't have to worry about that at all, which is great. So now we have the artboard in the exact size that we want it without any other branding on there. So all that's left to do is add our PNG file. So I'm just going to use our logo for this. And the way that I would add that is up here in the top right-hand corner. I just clicked on it, but it's this little add button. And you click on that, and it's going to give you several different options. And the one that you want to select for uploading your own PNG to this file, or to this software, is by pressing this photo button.
I'm going to give you a break, brother. Take a break.
Okay. I know, like flying through
Feels like
this.
you need a drink. If you're enjoying this content, please do us a favor. Hit that like button and the subscribe button. Also, leave a comment on the video. I see a lot of people in chat. Thank you. I appreciate you. And we are trying to grow this channel, and it really does help us out with the likes and the subscriptions. All right, brother, back to you.
All right, sorry. I will try to slow down a little bit. I've done this so many times that I get accused of like flying through this stuff. So the whole purpose of this was to slow down. So let me actually slow down. So once you go to the add button up here, you click on photo. You'll go to, you're going to see this pop out on the right-hand side, and you're going to click this upload photo button. And what that's going to do is open your computer's file explorer. And so what I'm going to do is desktop, because I just clicked and dragged our Wingman logo over there. So identify whatever PNG file that you have that you're wanting to upload to Merch, and you can go ahead and hit open. And it's actually going to ask you 2 questions, which of these are new questions that they ask you, which is nice. But we want to be able to move this around freely. Pinned background is, again, great for if you're making a social media post, but for what we're doing, we want to be able to move it around freely. So we click that. It's going to take a second because this is a fairly large PNG file that I'm uploading, but it is our logo. And what this allows us to do now is we can click on this logo and drag it around wherever we want. So it's great that it brings it in basically dead center into this artboard, or the file of how it's going to look. But for t-shirts, you want to push everything towards the top. If you go in your closet and you look at any t-shirt that you have, I would say 99% of the t-shirts you probably have, most of the logos are near the chest area and not down here on the belly. So that's kind of what we're doing on this document. Not kind of, that's exactly what we're doing on this document, is pushing that logo up towards the chest. So you can push it, you know, I would say as close as you can up here to the top. Maybe not touching, just in case anything weird happens with the file and it wants to cut off some pixels somewhere, but very close up here to the top, so it's going to print nice and big on the chest. So that is actually the shirt that I have on now. This is the exact process I went through. So that it's just funny that I have it on. But once you have the logo in place where you want it, then we can go up here to this download button in the top hand right corner. When you click this, it's going to ask you what type of file do you want to download this as. And we want to keep this as a PNG. This is what Merch by Amazon requires and what several other websites require as well. So we can use this PNG. We're going to hit start download, and it's going to ask us one more question before it gives us our file, which is, do you want it to have a solid color background or a transparent background? And again, for 99% of the time, you're going to want a transparent background PNG. That's kind of the reason we want this as a PNG file in the first place. So clicking this transparent PNG will then begin the download of our PNG in the exact sizing that we need for Merch by Amazon. Like I said, that was the answer to Jan's question, who sent that this week to me. I'm very proud of her for going out and even without feeling confident in her graphic design skills, or as she put it, feeling illiterate when it came to these types of things, she was able to go out and do this type of partnership. So again, I just want to show you guys that you can do this with no sales background, just the willingness to go explain this to somebody, hopefully with a little bit more knowledge that we've shed on the situation now. But it's just such a win-win situation for most organizations that they're willing to partner with you, even if you tell them up front, like, this is the first time I'm doing this, so please have some grace with me. But the idea that they can monetize through print on demand and through this fundraiser, grow funds for their cause or whatever they're doing inside their organization, is usually an exciting thing, especially if that means not a lot of legwork on their end, which is what we are providing for them. This is one step of the process. There's a few more steps in order to get this thing live on Amazon, but that's kind of the most nitty-gritty section that you have to get into, which is the actual files that you need from them if you're going to use their logo. But if you need me to explain that personally to you, or if you need to talk about anything else, I am trying to, I do want to jump on calls with you guys. So we're going to do a Calendarly link for this week and next week. I'm going to start it there and see how things go. And Stephen had the idea to call it 20 for 20. So I'm going to be charging $20 for 20 minutes for me to explain whatever you need as far as this print-on-demand fundraiser idea goes. James was actually asking, how do you set it up so they get their share? And I'm assuming that you're talking about, like, after you're doing a fundraiser with an organization, especially with Merch by Amazon, how would you set that up to happen? And the way that I've done it, it's not the greatest. I haven't found an automated way for them to just, like, get their cut every month. But at the end of every month, I look at everyone I've partnered with, and I send, however we've set it up, the money to those organizations. So sometimes it just has to be a donation that we're doing. Sometimes we send it directly to their bank account, like however they want it. We've just set up our deals to work that way. So knowing that there is always legwork for me at the end of months, usually the way that we've structured our deals, because that is the best solution that we have found, is they are usually a month-long fundraiser that we're doing, or a 2-month or a 3-month long, but it's usually not just a continuously ongoing thing. That way, after a month or 2 months, it can kind of get stale if they're just constantly posting the same shirt or constantly just posting every shirt that they come up with. So we like to give it a time period, or only do it around this one event. So even if you guys want to do this, maybe doing it once or twice a year instead of just always available, give some, like, exclusivity to the deal as well. So that's something to think about. But that is the way that we've structured it ourselves, is usually we're partnering with people with a timeline in mind, so that every month I'm not doing this for 100 100 organizations that I've partnered with. It's just maybe, you know, the 5 to 10 that I've partnered with that month. So something to think about. If you're looking at other platforms, there are more creative ways to do that, especially on Shopify that I'm experimenting with currently. But for Merch by Amazon, that's how I always did it. So just at the end of every month, running that CSV file, seeing exactly how many of their shirts sold, and then doing the math to figure out exactly how much they made you and what you owe them as far as profit sharing.